Okay, in this challenge I'm going to show you how you can set up your own card game tutorial. What you'll need to do first is get yourself a series of card images. So I've got 52 card images plus the playing card back, and as well I have a red joker and a black joker that I can use for these. So the first thing that you might want to do is to represent a deck in this. What we'll do is we'll be using the card back, and you're going to need many layers on your timeline in order to do this project. So it might even be worthwhile setting up your timeline in a way that you can see more layers of video. So with a deck, it's a stack of cards, which we can do pretty easily. Actually, I should have resized this. So what I'll do is I'll make this the size that I want, the first one that I've got down here. By double-clicking on it, I'll go to my image plus wireframe, drag it down, and I might even put it at a bit of an angle. So I'll just rotate it a little bit. Okay, and then what I can do is copy and paste. Drag these on top of each other, and then just offset it slightly. So I'll double click so I know which one I'm working on. There we go. So you can see that these are a little bit offset here. And you can only see one at a time in this window. So the top one should be on the furthest left. This one should be probably a little bit here so that I can see the card back, and then this bottom one should be the furthest down this way. So that's using 3 cards. If I had one with a little bit more of a straighter or darker image border, I could show those a little bit better. So you might want to spend some time getting your deck set up so that it actually looks like a stack of cards. So there, now I'm a little more satisfied with that. So I've got my stack of cards here. What I want to do first maybe is indicate shuffling. So if I'm showing somebody how to play a particular card game, what I might do is put in a piece of text here. I mean, you could also do this with voiceover narration as well, but for these purposes I'm going to use the text. So I'll switch this to one shuffle deck. Okay, then video. So this will be my instruction, so you can see how this is going to get an awful lot of layers really quickly. Okay, and then I can do a little bit of an edit here to move this to where I want. You could either use the wireframe, which is very easy to work with, or you can change the origin and other things in this menu. So we've got the shuffle deck, and now we're going to do the shuffling deck animation. And I'll pick where I want to start that exactly, and I'm only going to move the middle card so that it's a little bit easier to work with. So I've got the middle card double clicked on. I'll move back to this step here, so double click, and I'm going to mark a keyframe, and all I'm going to do is periodically move the middle card back and forth. So I'll go a little bit further, and then I'll move it back into place. And you can always move the timeline so that you can see exactly what you're doing here. There we go. So step 1, shuffle deck. And then in a second here, the middle card is going to start moving back and forth. This would be a great place to also include some sort of deck shuffling sound. So next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to have this deal the cards. So I have no idea what game this is going to be. I'm going to keep it very general so that you can sort of invent your own idea for this. So I'm going to go back to text to deal each player 4 cards. Okay, so go back to video, and I'll go to image, and I like keeping the text on the same layer if I can. It just makes it a little bit easier to organize if you always know where your text is. So I'm going to put this down here on the bottom left. So shuffle deck, and then it's going to deal each player 4 cards. Now I could have them coming out of the deck, but I think we've established that there is a deck there. So what I'm going to do is I can just have the cards move in from off screen. So we'll put the Jack of Hearts here. Now obviously this is huge. So what I'm going to do is I am going to shrink this to the size that I want my cards to be. And then I can just move it up here. So this is probably an acceptable size for the cards. I'll scroll this up. This person will also get a King of Spades. We'll do 10 of Diamonds. 3 of Clubs, so that will be one hand. The other one will be 10 of Clubs. 2 of Clubs. 2 more cards, 3 of Diamonds, and 7 of Diamonds. So I'm sure in whatever game this is, that's quite a good hand. So what I can do now, I've got the sizes set for the Jack of Hearts. So what we can do is control click, or click on the Jack of Hearts here, and then I'm going to go to Edit Copy, and we're going to do something a little bit different here. I'll go to the King of Spades 2, and I'm going to go to Edit, and instead of Paste, I'm going to go to Paste Attributes. So here you can paste anything that you've got in the other clip. I don't want to do content here because that'll wipe it out. But if I go to Basic Motion and click on OK, it will set it to the same size as the Jack of Hearts. So what I can actually do here, to save me a ton of time getting them all to be the same size, I can select all of them, Edit, Paste Attributes, pick Basic Motion, click on OK, and then it sets them all to be the same size. Now when I'm working with a lot of them, I'm probably going to be doing some more work in the canvas window for this. So this is where you might want to put on your image plus wireframe, and then you can start moving these around. So I'm going to go to 25% so that I can see everything, and I'll just move all of these cards. It gives you the layer that they're on, which is kind of handy. So, and then this will be for the other hand. Don't lose your cards. That's probably a good thing to remember. So I've got all of them moved over here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to deal them one at a time. So what I'm going to do then is I'll pick the Jack, and I'll pick the point in time where I want it to start moving. So I'll double click on it here. It'll give me a keyframe at the beginning. You can mark that in your canvas window, and then I'm going to pick a point where I want it to be sort of in place. So I'll move ahead, and I'll move it here, and this is going to be the far left card, so I'm going to rotate it a little bit. Okay. Next one, I've got my King of Spades here. I'm going to start this moving just a little bit later than the Jack of Hearts did. So I'll keyframe, and I'll have it just stop slightly later than the Jack of Hearts did, and I'll put it next to it. Okay. Scroll up. 10 of diamonds. Started a little bit later yet. Keyframe. Want to make sure that both those cards are in place, and then I will slide this over here and pick a slightly different rotation. And the last card for that hand, 3 of clubs. I'll start it moving about here, and I'll have it fall into place at about this frame. And you're going to want to rotate that. There we go. So that should give you the basics that you need. I'm going to just render this. The basics that you should need to do these steps to learn how to play a new card game. You'd probably want to dress this up with a different background, maybe some fancier text, but the basic animation of it is a really good challenge to know that you've got your motion skills down.